What's going on, Guardians? It's Tizzle here, and I am back with another Heist Moon Battleground solo GM. This time, I finally took off Prismatic and put on one of my old favorite builds in Geomags Stabilizers, Warlock. Yeah, next episode, this build is going to go crazy. I'll try to get a build video out this weekend for it, because we're getting another new artifact mod where arc damage does increased damage against blinded targets. They revealed that in a reveal stream this week. So yeah, anyways, we don't know what that damage buff is going to be, but there's actually the trace evidence and the other artifact mod is really good for blinding enemies. And then yeah, if you can get them blinded, then Geomags is going to hit harder. I want to remind you that Arc Surge is not on here, but we do have the Arc Hunger, the Savathun's worm thing. So my ability regen is increased. So keep that in mind. But I did take this build through a lost sector and you still get your super insanely fast and just all your abilities. So I'm also using Deterministic Chaos. You're probably aware, but we don't have the best anti-barrier options this season. Shotgun is not great for solo GMers because it requires being up close and personal. And then Scout Rifles just don't deal a lot of damage. And then there's also Scorn in this, so there's that Fell the Revenant artifact mod, so I'm dealing more damage to Scorn. And then we have the new Vantage Point Pulse Rifle with Jolting Feedback. So this is kind of where I conceptualized this build, because I wanted to take advantage of Jolting Feedback, which is going to make everything jolted pretty much. And then we're going to have just a ton of Ionic Traces, and Ionic Traces give us our super energy quicker. So as you can see, I already have my super, got it less than a minute into the strike, which is crazy. Yes, that ability surge is helping, but like I said, I've taken it through Master Lost sectors, and even then, the Master Lost sector wasn't Arc Surge. So yeah, this build's crazy. I'm also using Void Holster on my Deterministic Chaos, which is really good because it reloads it, so it's kind of always ready for us to go when we need it, because I hate reloading in general, but especially machine guns. So here, I'm trying to get every enemy down before I take out the wizard, because once that wizard dies, it's going to spawn in the Death Tongue Chorister, and you have to get that thing down quickly. If you don't, it just becomes a big hassle. So yeah, as you can see, I'm taking everything down, and then I'm going to try to kill the wizard right near where the Death Tongue spawns. But unfortunately, this wizard is just being a giant pussy. So yeah, I should have used my machine gun there. And then I put down a rift so that I would have arc souls as well. But yeah, anyways, we get it down. We throw a pulse grenade. Our pulse grenades have the fragment that makes them jolt. Obviously, you need that. And look, again, no arc surge, and we absolutely chew through that thing. And yeah, we're getting a ton of rifts because of the ability surge. So it won't be like that normally, but Ionic Traces do give big chunks of ability energy. So you will still get it lots. Just keep that in mind that we have that ability surge thing going on. And then for this GM in particular, Jolt is excellent. So yeah, it really shows off this build really well because lots of enemies are spawned like in on top of each other. So here, yeah, we're just kind of systematically taking everything out in a really, like I said, systematic way, because certain enemies dying triggers in certain other enemies, and we want to kill everything in a very specific order. So now we get the Barrier Knight. So we want to take the Barrier Knight out first. So that's why I cast a super, because we want everything down but the ogre, because when that ogre dies, that's when the rest of the enemies spawn in. So yeah, the ogre's over there on right, and now we're going to start taking him down. Oh, and there's a couple wizards and stuff. So we chuck out a grenade. And yeah, this build is basically just chuck out your abilities pretty much every time they're off cooldown. And then yeah, Jolting Feedback is amazing in endgame content. Yes, Volt Shot's great, but Jolting Feedback is just straight up better in endgame. Because like a Pulse Rifle is not very strong, so it's not going to be able to take out enemies to proc Volt Shot. where we can here. So this was unfortunate. This unstop pushed up way sooner than they normally do. So ideally I could have got a Geomags off there when that when I stunned the barrier and take out the big ogre. But we weren't able to do that, and now this unstop has pushed up. So this is going to slow us down a lot, but we can't really cast our super while that unstop is on top of us. And I also don't want to waste my Geomags on this guy. So I'm going to put in as much damage as I can. But yeah, we just have to play smart. So now that you can pretty much one cycle solo champions all the time, you don't really have to know the enemy AI. But there is a good example of just how I was able to break line of sight to make it back off, and then get its aggro so it would come up, and so on, and then deal with it in a few stuns. And then unfortunately my jolt grenade missed, and then we're just going to take out the blistered ogre because he's being a problem. What I wanted to do was stun the barrier knight and then cast my geomag, because I probably could have taken everything out at once, but the game doesn't always do what you want it to do, which is fine. That's what makes good players good, is having to react to what the game is doing. And then again, I short hop my jolt grenade a little bit, but it is what it is. We're using our cover, and like I said, we're just dealing with this barrier in like 3 stuns. So yeah, Deterministic Chaos isn't super strong, but it's perfect for our needs in this Nightfall. Like it is strong, but its magazine size really hurts it. So that's where you want these holster mods. It allows you to play so much more aggressively. That's been a game changer for me with this weapon. So yeah, as you can see, even there, I still haven't reloaded it. I pulled it out. I was able to take that on-rushing knight, and then we just go back to dealing damage. So I want to get this barrier knight down, because if you don't kill the barrier knight, you're not going to get platinum. And then he's in a really bad spot. See, like, I thought I stunned it. It looked like I did enough damage. I don't know what the hell that was. But now it's got all its health back, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter too much, because ammo economy is really good in these Nightfalls because of the heavy ammo crates. So we shoot our Lost Signal to apply the concussive reload debuff, and then we go into our Geomag. And again, you can see it's doing crazy damage even without Arc Surge. So we're getting, like I said, that new Arc mod next act. So I assume Arc Surge will still be around in the next act. So yeah, definitely bust this out. My run was maybe like 5 minutes slower than the one I did on Rhymecoat Raiment at launch, or like at weekly reset. So yeah, obviously it's not as strong as Prismatic, but it's still really strong. And then we're just using our machine gun ammo, because once that thing's dead, we're able to just pick up heavy. So yeah, 7.5 minutes. I've had faster, and in a team, this thing goes super hard, because yeah, you could have people stunning the barrier knight while you're in a chaos reach. I did one Nightfall in like 12.5 minutes running this build. Like, it's super good, and you're just spamming chaos reaches. When I make my video, I'll probably count how many chaos reaches I was able to get off in one strike, because it's actually crazy. And yeah, anyways, it's just so fun. I've always loved Geomags from when they first came into the game. They were one of the first exotics I got in Forsaken, and this was back before I ever read TWABs or anything. So I didn't even know that they were in the game. I didn't really watch Destiny YouTube, and I just picked them up one time, and I had already unlocked Middle Tree Arc, and then I got my Geomags, and they've pretty much been a staple ever since. Like I said, one of my top favorite exotics in the game, especially on Warlock, but just in the game in general. I love things that hit very hard, and yeah, Geomag Chaos Reach does hit very hard, and it's got great single target damage as well as ad clear, and from a safe distance. So yeah, it's just all around very good. So here, I'm just going to speed this up, because it's literally just take out the ads. We throw a pulse grenade over here, and the reason I use my super coming up is because I'm not going to need it in this next room, because I'm doing the cheese. So we're going to take out those stalkers, and then take out the chieftain. Like, how good is that super? And then, yeah, I've got eddy current on this pulse rifle, which is like absolutely perfect for it. It feels really good, and we're constantly proccing it. So yeah, it's just excellent. I love it. So we're just going to clean up these enemies, and then we're going to go to the cheese spot. And I am just going to speed this up. So I said in my last video, but if you didn't watch that and you're just watching this one, you just have to sit in this spot and then don't move your left analog stick or WASD. You just look around, and even don't look behind you because that could adjust your player character. Just keep looking ahead and don't really move around, and you'll be able to not be seen by the enemies. So unfortunately, we don't get the lucky spawn where the guy comes out where we can see him and stun him. So that sucks. So now we have to wait for these unstops to push up to the box. So I'm just waiting for him to get a little higher so I can have line of sight. And then, yeah, we want to shoot our lost signal for the debuff, throw a pulse grenade for the jolt, and then go in with deterministic chaos. So we almost, actually we do get him in 2 stuns, which is about as good as you can ask for in the cheese spot. So yeah, you see we have our super back, but it doesn't matter because you also can't pop super here. And I was even hesitant to put my rift down. I know you can cast a rift, but the reason I was hesitant was because of Arc Soul. I don't know if Arc Soul would start shooting at something and draw aggro and make us potentially get hit. So I don't even put my rift down, but Arc Soul would be able to help hit the unstops. But yeah, I don't do that. And there, I should have stunned him a little sooner, but sometimes he does keep going to like my right and his left. But in this case, he didn't. See, like there, he kind of drifted, so that was perfect. And then we're just going to use our deterministic chaos. Again, we don't have to worry about ammo because at the end of this, well, you can see right now there's a heavy ammo crate. So at the end of this, I picked that up. Now, these yellow bar Scorn guys were being extremely weird on this run. Like, normally they kind of come. So look, it was saying it was like by the thing, but I couldn't even see it for a while. And yeah, I don't know what was going on with it. So luckily I have that area denial GL, so I'm kind of just putting it there. And then we've got our jolt grenades. So it is a good build for hitting things behind cover because of the jolt and the area denial and whatever. But yeah, those things were being extremely weird here. So here, again, we're just kind of waiting. I just keep proccing jolting feedback. And then, yeah, you can see when I get those crit hits, it's blinding them. They get that little red around them. You'll see it again in the boss room as well. And then when I'm picking up ionic traces, I'm gaining armor charge. So that's how you're able to do it, is when you have armor charge. So yeah, you can see he's blinded. I'm waiting for the unstop to come up a bit. Unfortunately, I airmail my grenade, but we still did about half damage, so not bad. And then there, again, you can see we blinded, and we actually stunned the unstop because blind stuns unstoppables. So here, I'm just kind of taking my time. We get a nice little stun on that guy and use the pulse grenade against the nearby crate to put in some damage. And then there again, we just don't quite have the right angle, unfortunately. But again, I have moved in the past, and sometimes just that little shift is enough to make it so the enemies see me. So I was avoiding doing that. So yeah, the yellow bar raiders, you can see, yeah, and then he just runs away. So yeah, everything was just being really annoying on this run, but it is what it is. If you're trying to solo this, you definitely still want to use this cheese spot because it's quite dangerous if you don't. So there, he was so close to dying, just didn't quite. And now the other one rotates. Luckily, his arm is sort of exposed, so we're able to put in some decent damage with our deterministic chaos. The other unstop just died. And then, yeah, I'm just chucking out my abilities, getting jolt on those raiders. And yeah, like I said, you could test and see if Arc Soul works here. And then, yeah, potentially use that as well. So I'm just going to speed this up because this guy was being an absolute idiot. There, we finally hit him with a grenade. We're getting lots of jolt procs. Still not enough to take him out, though. Finally, he comes where I have line of sight, so I just bust out the machine gun. So look at all that green ammo on the ground, but I wasted a ton of special trying to hit those guys behind cover. So normally I'm not hurting on ammo like I am here. And then I even pre-shot one GL just in the hopes that that guy would come out the door, and he didn't. So this is about as bad of spawns as you can get. So that's why this room took so long. The enemies were being weird, and I never got a single unstop in my line of sight, which sucks because I have unstoppable pulse rifle on. So I would have been able to actually stun it and do some good damage. Then we get the stun. We had procced our ability surge. He should have been weakened from the GL shot earlier, but I don't know if he was. So I'm just going to speed this up because, again, the unstop was just kind of screwing around. We use the crate and the GL. Just going to speed this up because, I mean, there's not much to this part. It's just a waiting game. And then there, I don't even bother re-stunning. Well, I wouldn't have been able to even if I had tried. And then we just wait it out to get to 100%. And then we go pick up our ammo, which we were in desperate need of here. Even though we probably had enough ammo on the ground, we would have been full. Go carefully through the lasers. And then we get to this part. And again, this build is actually really good for this part. So our tonic just expired, so you'll see the one. It is the Refined Tonic of Amplified Arc. So that's the one you want. Picking up an Ionic Trace grants us armor charge, and then blinding a target this way instead emits a blinding burst. So that's when we get rapid precision hits with an arc weapon while we have armor charge. So that's how we're doing the blinding. So here we just proc Jolt, and then we're able to put in some nice damage on the other guy. And then we want our super here for the Scorn, and then we want a grenade for the next part to take out all those enemies so we don't die. So that was really good. We took out that chieftain really easily, still even saved some super, and we got amplified, so we're running nice and fast. We chuck out our grenade, and then just for an added bit of safety, we're going to put down a healing rift before we start running. I hadn't got all my health back, but that was fine. I had enough. We climbed the ladder. Still have lots of health. And then here, yeah, normally it takes about 37 shots to take one of these out. So on this one, I was a little close. So there you can see I was at 77. And then there I'm at 39. So as long as I have above 37, I'll be able to take that last one out. I was a little fearful that I was going to hit one of those projectiles with the beam, the one the chieftain was shooting, and then maybe that would eat some of the ammo. But yeah, luckily we're able to get it down in just 2. There is another heavy ammo crate. And then here, so this time we're going to use the cheese spot. So in my run earlier, I didn't use the cheese. And yeah, the cheese spot is pretty nice. So you just run back and you jump to the top of that like little triangle. And then you just run up here. And then you go to this rafter. So you can still get hit here. So you do still have to be wary of things. Like those scorn grenades especially. But for the most part, you're pretty safe. So there we get the weaken on the boss. And then we pop our Geomags. So there's also an invisible wall here. So you actually have to go over that. If you're too low, like if you don't jump up before casting Geomags, you could miss. And now look at my ability surge. So just look at the... And those guys were like there for half a second. I throw my grenade and then they're all gone. That was weird. But yeah, so I'm getting my super back like crazy because of ability surge. There, I got hit by one of those grenades. So that ability surge is really nice because we pretty much always have healing rifts. I also have Font of Restoration and Font of Wisdom on my my build setup for armor mods. So I'm actually getting 100 recovery. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. I'm getting 100 recovery whenever I have armor charge, and I'm getting 30 more intellect whenever I have armor charge. And the ionic traces are giving us armor charge from the artifact mod. Unfortunately, so here's what I'm talking about. Did you see how I was hitting? See how I'm hitting that invisible wall? So that was unfortunate there. But yeah, so you don't want to do that. Obviously, I wasted my super. But yeah, you don't really get your ionic traces up top here, which is fair. But yeah, just something to be aware of. Where if I was down low, it's a little riskier, but I could be getting my ionic traces. So that's why this is so good in a fire team, because I'd be down there and I'd like have my super already. So yeah, it's really, really good. So I'm just going to speed this up a bit because it's literally just us. Here we spawn kill those enemies. So yeah, also be ready for all those enemy spawns. So that invisible wall I talked about, it's also on this side, but it works both ways. So like, what I mean by that is the raiders, I'm shooting them, but if I hit that wall, but if they're trying to shoot me, we're both just going to hit the wall. So yeah, it can also block shots, which is nice. And it just takes a feel for getting used to like where it is and how it works. So the boss is about half of his first health bar. So we put down a rift. Again, I didn't jump up first because you don't want to jump too high because then you'll be hitting the rafters. So not a perfect super, but still decent. And again, Arc Surge is not on here, so it's absolutely wrecking. Because if Arc Surge was on, it'd be 25% more damage each super. And look, I'm already like almost halfway to my super. So yeah, just really, really good. And then there, again, we're just proccing Arc Hunger, and we're back on the ability surge. So just excellent. Our super is just building like crazy. So then I'm actually going to save my super here. I wanted to use it on the unstops, but I don't really get a good opportunity. So sadly I wasn't able to, but it would have taken the unstops out quicker and just sped everything up. So there was a good clip where the boss's crossbow was just hitting the barrier in front of me. So here we want to get our jolt grenade down. So I guess the other unstop actually spawns lower. I thought it spawned further away and that I was shooting the near one. So that's what happened there, because I wanted to stun both and then shoot my Chaos Reach, but they didn't spawn where I expected them to, which was really unfortunate because now they're up, and yeah, it just kind of put me in kind of a shitty position. But getting that jolt grenade down first was really good, just to take out the incoming ads right away. And then when you're in this cheese spot, they don't really ever go to a good spot, so it is a little risky trying to take them out from up here, but you definitely want to. So here we're just going to work on this this guy. You can take one of these scorn out and it won't spawn, but you'll always have two on the field during this part where you have to charge the batteries. So we take the one out, and now I'm just going to try to get the unstoppables. And like, look how long he was immune. Goes across literally the entire... So right there, look, I have 75 shots. I went up to 81 when I shot that Dark Ether thing. So yeah, for the artifact, I don't even have like any of the final column perks because they don't really help this build much. So there, again, it'd be ideal if I could stun both at once, because then I might have popped a Chaos Reach. But now they're so low, now it's not even really worth popping a Chaos Reach. But I probably could have even had my Chaos Reach damn near back as well. So we get the weaken, we get them both stunned, we get the pulse grenade on them. So finally we get a good rotation there. And yeah, now they're both dead. So yeah, those pulse grenades, again, no arc surge, and they're absolutely eating. So next act, this build is going to go crazy. I'm super excited for it. So here, what I'm doing is I'm priming both of these chieftains, so that when I jump down, if they push me for some reason, I'm able to finish them or like quickly take them out with a machine gun or whatever. So all the enemies are dead. That's what you want. And then you want both chieftains low but not dead, because if you kill one, the next one's just going to spawn in. And now I'm just kind of waiting. And yeah, you always just need to be avoiding the boss attack. You can hear his charge bow charging up. So you just have to kind of anticipate that. I've also got burst glide on this run, which is really nice for just speeding up. So here he pushes. That's perfect. That totem should go away because he died, but it just takes a while sometimes. And then this other guy pushed around, so I'm half. But there, that slide probably saved me because he was charging up his crossbow. Then we throw a jolt grenade on here. We throw our melee out. And just like that, pretty much all the enemies are dead. And now this other guy is super low, and the other one is across the field. Oh, but I let him go up. So that was a big mistake. I should have just used my machine gun. That's where machine guns are so nice, is this part right here. That's why lots of people will run machine guns in this strike. But there, the blind came in super clutch. And then the amplified with the slide, I was able to avoid the crossbow. But yeah, that blind allowed me to run out and go get that that battery where I wouldn't have been able to otherwise, because it would have been too risky. And then there, again, he's blinded, so he's no threat. Like blind, I've talked about it before in my solo GM on Lake of Shadows when I used Queenbreaker's bow. Blind is absolutely exceptional. It's just, there's not a lot of ways to proc it. So there, again, was a great showcase of just how good blind is. And then because of Ionic Traces, every time we come back over here, we have our abilities up. So we just spam them. I could even be spamming my Rift as well. So yeah, we're just going to get him nice and low, take out these other guys that rotated over. Didn't see that guy, so I got a little hasty there because I want to get this before that timer runs down. And I don't know if I killed every enemy. No, I didn't, because you can see some purple things flying in at me. So this was a little risky. There's a totem behind me, so I actually have to go like right at the ad spawn. But it's okay. We take them all out. And then yeah, there was that one raider that I missed. This guy is blinded, so he's super easy to deal with. We keep proccing Jolt. Thought that guy was going to die. So this part got a little hairy because we also had that purple scorn grenade coming in. So that could have been a little sketchy. But again, we have so many rifts. So because those enemies were pushing me, I was like, well, I better just put down a rift. And yeah, it wound up being a good decision. But I was in my animation. Otherwise, I would have just rotated to avoid that grenade. Here, we're using Amplified to, again, just move kind of perpendicularly to the boss so that he can't hit us. Here's our final dunk. And now we run to the back. So I could have done a little jump and then land at the base of the stairs and burst glide. That's a way to, it's like a movement tech thing to get a boost by using the physics. But you don't need to. So I just kind of burst glided to the back, jump on the triangle, and up we go. But you do have to hit that jump because that boss will snipe you there if you're not perfectly quick. So as soon as you dunk that battery, you have to start sprinting back there. And you can see those grenades, like they have a pretty wide AoE. So there we got the weaken on. Always get the weaken on first. And then we're going in with our super. Look at that. We're almost at the R. So between the R and the I. So that's really nice damage coming out of... Basically, that's pretty much like the first damage we did going into the second phase of the boss here. So yeah, really nice damage. I I can't wait to try this build, like I said, on Arc Surge, because it's feeling exceptionally good. All my weapons are overcharged though, right? Because we've got anti-barrier sniper, or sorry, unstoppable pulse. So even though Arc Surge isn't on, it still is overcharged. And then we've got Overload GL, but Stasis Surge is on anyways. And then Void Surge was on, making Deterministic Chaos hit better. So yeah, really good build for this Nightfall. There we got a Pulse Grenade on the spawning ads, which is nice. Get some Jolt going. And then yeah, like I said, this build is just great for ad clear because of all the Jolt. Like, it's crazy. That was stupid. I saw he was moving away, yet I threw my grenade to where he was. There, I almost died. So yeah, what I should be doing right now is actually focusing on those enemies to the right that keep throwing their grenades at me because they're making my life difficult. But I just kind of get zeroed in on the boss, which is fine, but I have to be careful. So again, some really nice damage from our Chaos Reach. Oh, and I have Bomber on, so you can see I got a big chunk there. And again, so the reason I'm throwing those so short is because that thing is there. So if I throw higher, I'm going to hit it. But if I rotate left here, you can see it's not there. So you can get a better angle on your grenade throw. So that's what I should be doing. And then I could just, again, what I should be doing here. There, that melee actually went through, which was weird because it looked like it hit that invisible barrier. But I could be using my machine gun to take out those enemies to the right just a little quicker. But I just wasn't because I don't really know why. I was just trying to get the boss down. But again, you are pretty safe up here. There's a much better pulse grenade, and you can see we're doing big damage. And now he TP'd, which was perfect because we're just getting our super. So now I know when I see the boss, I'm going to be able to just take him out. So now it's just kind of a matter of finding where the boss is at. There, our pulse grenade takes everything out super, super quickly. So damn good. There's the boss. Get the weaken, jump up. Oh yeah, put a healing rift down. Because even if you jump up, look, I still have the overshield from healing rift. So that's just going to keep me protected. And you can see I'm taking damage. So yeah, put a healing rift before you chaos reach if you can. It definitely helps. And then yeah, we take them out. So 36 minutes, not bad. Like I said, I got pretty unlucky in the first cheese. And then even in the opening section, a little unlucky with the barrier knight and that big ogre and stuff where I had to retreat. But yeah, that was the run. I will be making a build video on this because like I said, next act, it's going to go crazy. I have so many build videos that I just love making builds, right? So when I make a build, it's awesome. I get footage with it, then I'm on to the next build because I just love tinkering and testing stuff. But unfortunately, I never really get them into video form fast enough, but I will be working on that. Trust me, just be patient and I'll get it. But anyways, that was the run. I hope you enjoyed and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.